D, but I ended up with a C minus.
All right, we're live. So I'd like to welcome everybody to the October meeting of the Metropolitan School District North Posey and ask everyone to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. So the first item is Mr. Kavanaugh, read the vision, mission, core beliefs, and high priority.
Sure. The vision is we inspire all students to achieve their potential for learning and life in a safe and supportive environment. Our mission is we partner with our community to create a dynamic and innovative educational experience, empowering students to become educated, productive, and responsible citizens. On our core beliefs, we believe our community is vital to our educational success. Everyone is valued and treated with respect, in always telling the truth, in educational opportunity for all, student-centered programs challenging and inspiring learning, in the pursuit of excellence through a strong sense of pride. Our high priorities are enhancing the student experience, investing in teachers and administrators, fostering strong relationships among all, and maximizing our resources.
All right. So first item is patron concerns, and we have none listed. The next one is the minute, claim docket, and consent items. I'm looking for a motion. Or actually, let's go ahead and read through those as well.
When did we start reading through all of them?
I think you were on that meeting.
Okay, I'm like, we did the last one, I'm like, we've never done that before.
Okay. Start with the following resignations.
Yep.
Okay. Resignations of Jennifer Epperson as a Spanish teacher and Stephen Sims resigned as a bus driver. Personal leave in FMLA, Bernie and Elaine Gable, Amy Hollum, Carolyn Price, Donna Elpers, and Julie Grease. The following hiring is Chelsea Johnson is transferring to Technology Specialist Level 2 from her current position. Tracy Johnson hiring as a bus driver. Ellen Bolligman hire as a part-time instructional assistant for the preschool room at North Elementary School. Kathy Lester hire as long-term substitute for Kaylee Kissel's maternity leave. Andrea Eshe hire as a long-term substitute for the business classroom. Clayton Reagan will be hired in the junior high as the 8th grade boys basketball coach. Nolan Alvey, Evan Brom, Jarrett Motes, and Jacob Newman volunteer baseball coaches for the Cub baseball team. We also have Roger Butler as a long-term substitute for the vacant Spanish department, the Spanish position. The overnight or out-of-town field trips, Robin Bender to take 13 FFA students to the National FFA Convention in Indianapolis. Stephanie Cox is to take 13 cheerleaders to the IASP Indiana Cheer Championship competition in Newcastle, Indiana. Tori Schaefer to take 7 high school choir students to the Murray State University Quad State Honor Choir performance. And Carrie Schmidt to take 16 Spell Bowl competitors to state final competition at Purdue University. The following miscellaneous items for consideration: renewal of the Iraqi license. This is a 5-year renewal for an enterprise license and support and does not qualify for E-rate. The cost is $51,573.35 and shall be paid out of operation funds. Renewal of Google Workspace for Educational Plus, the 3-year renewal cost of $20,250 and shall be paid out of educational fund. High school program to use the softball field for U14 Cub team. I think that's it.
That other letter.
It's been He added it in.
Okay.
Yeah, I did say
you're
that.
right about that.
Okay.
Up there.
So, looking for a motion to approve the minutes and claim docket and consent items.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes, the claim dockets, and the consent items.
In a second.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Colley, second by Mrs. Will, to approve the consent items. Any discussion?
Yeah, what is a Meraki license?
It's, it's part of our networking.
With computers?
Yes.
Okay, that's good enough.
Yes.
It'll be a long conversation.
Yeah.
Security video.
So
Okay,
the security systems are on our network
okay.
and they, I believe, they
And all of our
can't.
access points throughout the building that make sure you have Wi-Fi everywhere you go
Mhm.
are all
Okay.
Meraki access points.
I figured there's something to do with that, but I
Mhm.
had no idea.
Yeah.
All right, any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion carries.
Okay. We have, our adoption of our 2024 budget. We've gone through the process, had the public hearing and gone through our processes to now approve our 2024 budget. We have several resolutions. We have the resolution of our bus replacement plan, the capital projects plan, our budget transfer resolution, the resolution for the 2024 budget hearing, our rainy day transfer resolution, and our transfers from education to the operations fund for approval.
So looking for a motion to approve the, a motion, yes, to approve the 2024 budget items as listed.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget resolutions as listed.
I'll second.
The motion by Mr. Oakley, seconded by Mrs. Bowers. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0.
These all need to be signed, so I'll start sending those around. Next up, we have our 2023 to 2025 memorandum of understanding with the North Posey Teachers Association. We had a great,
Sorry.
you're good. We had a fantastic bargaining day. We spent a day together talking through the different needs and wants of both the district and the Teachers Association. We're excited to have an agreement that we're all pleased with and can support our teachers to continue the great work that they are doing with our students and staying within budget as well. So we're asking for that to be ratified. It has been, we have done a TA discussion on Monday, and that has been posted on our website and available for comment as well.
So looking for a motion to approve the 2023-2025 MOU with the Teachers Association.
I'll make a motion to approve. I lost it. The Teachers Associate, what was it? The contract for the teachers, yeah, the MOU for the
MOU.
Teachers Association.
In a
Oh,
second.
that's it.
I'll second.
Oh, yeah, I'll second it. Okay.
Get excited.
Let's just go.
Okay.
Learn what MOUs stand for.
So I have a motion by Mrs. Will, seconded by Mr. Colley, to approve the MOU with the Teachers Association. Any other discussion on the item? Like Michelle had mentioned, I think we had a really good discussion on Monday as well, and the meeting seemed to go pretty well, and I appreciate that we've got another 2-year contract that everybody's in agreement with, so. So all those in favor of the motion to approve the MOU, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Next, Mr. President, we have our consideration for a 2023 to 2025 salary increase for administrators, non-certified personnel, bus drivers, and food service employees. This is a little bit unique. We've not typically done a 2-year like this, but we felt like since we were doing a 2-year contract, we felt like we could be comfortable to say, hey, we feel like we can do this plan for 2 years for the rest of our team members as well, honoring our strategic goals and core beliefs of all employees being important to our district. So we have for you tonight the proposals for administrators for in the 23 to 24 to have a 2% raise for eligible administrators, and then the 24 to 25 year $1,000, mirroring a lot what we did with the Teacher Association contract. And then we also did some mirroring as best we could with our non-certified personnel as well. In the 2023 to 24, we have a 2% increase in non-certified scale, a 5% increase for the custodian day and night shift, because we found a pretty big discrepancy in the scale. It at year 3 was a really huge jump, and it looked just like maybe in years past, year 3 and beyond had been moved, but 1 and 2 had never been touched. So we just wanted to fix that. It's really more of just a fix in the scale. Same for our technology director. At year 3, there was a very large jump between 2 and 3. And so fixing that 1 and 2 a little bit, still a nice jump between 2 and 3 because you're rewarding being here for a while, but not as big as it was. It was a 23, almost 24% increase from year 2 to year 3. So just trying to even that out a little bit. And then we've heard quite a bit about our sub rates across the board. I did reach out to all of our study council superintendents and asked them to share their sub rates with us. And so we came in still kind of low to middle of the road across the study council, but a nice increase we felt like for those, and those are listed there. And then in the 2024 to 25, no increase on the scale, but any employee who on the non-cert scale is not going to automatically move, like if they're on year 3, they go to year 4. But if there's anybody that's at year 5 that's not going to move because there's nowhere for them to go, then they would receive a $750 stipend. We also talked about the sub teachers, making sure, looking at how we're paying retired teachers that are retired from North Posey, trying to reward them for a little bit for coming back, paying them that long-term rate any day they're here. If they've been retired from North Posey, they get that rate whether they're here 1 day or 15 days. But also talking about changing some of our long-term policy there is because we right now long-term subs that have been retired are getting paid wherever they would land on that scale, which is some significant cost to the district. So we're looking at putting that back to a level A on the bachelor's. So like beginning teacher rate for that licensed role. And so, but we also included the clause here that you can see the board would allow the superintendent or his or her designee to hire substitute teachers as necessary, including the ability to go above the baseline in extreme areas of academic need. For example, our Spanish position right now, if we had Senora wanting to return, could we negotiate with her? You know, she's recently retired. She's probably not going to come at the bottom of the, so giving a little bit of room there so we're not stuck if we have an extreme academic need. So hope I explained that well, but obviously we can go to discussion if we get to a motion.
So looking for a motion to approve the 2023 to 2025 salary increases for the remainder of the staff.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2023 through 2025 proposed salary increases as presented by Mrs. Walden.
And second,
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Mr. Oakley, seconded by Mr. Colley to approve the salary increases. Any other discussion?
Do we have a copy of that, or?
Yes,
It was
it's in the board packet.
Oh, it's in the board packet, okay.
Yeah, and you may know, and I can print it for you if you need to, but these were linked. You could click on that and it would go to the scale.
Okay, all right, that's probably what I did.
But I can print it out if you'd like a copy.
Can I sign up for a computer class?
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0.
We're not doing this.
Yep.
Okay, next item on our list, is, to have just a discussion, this is really no vote required, on some thoughts and ideas about how to handle, some incentivizing getting an English language learner teacher of record. I shared just through email the requirements from the state that we do have to have a licensed English language learner teacher of record. We do have 3 English language learner students right now. We typically have anywhere from 1 to 5 any given year. This isn't a big job in our district. At any day, it could become a big job. I mean, districts that have large ELL populations didn't once have them. But it is a requirement to have this teacher of record in place and have that person be licensed. We haven't had a lot of interest in that position. 2 years ago, we were able to put into the contract a stipend. We thought maybe that would pull some interest. A $750 stipend, I believe, which I think is adequate because we don't have a lot of students. If we ever get to where we have a large population, we would want to review that stipend.
So are they basically a counselor for the?
So I'll talk you through what the ELL teacher of record does. This would be someone that either outside, normal teaching hours or maybe during prep, whatever, would work on writing a service plan for the English language learner students. It's a very simple process. It probably takes 20 to 30 minutes to write an ELL service plan. There's a lot already sort of done for us it's in the IIEP system. It's similar to an IEP, but very, very low level comparatively as far as what's involved in it. Yeah, we do have to test students when they first come, when they enroll and they identify as a language learner. We do a diagnostic test with them. It's called the WIDA access test, and we get their language learner level. And so we then take that data from the test and we start to work on their service plan. And so typically it's about 30 to 60 minutes of instruction, whether it's push in or pull out, depending on the age, depending on, what they need. And then really hitting on the literacy and learning English. But they immediately, students begin to learn in regular English classes. Their instruction is delivered in English.
So the ELL teacher of record wouldn't be giving the instruction, they would be writing the plan.
This is more of a kind of an overseer, a director, if you will, of that particular part, not necessarily a director as far as leadership, but an overseer of the plans, making sure they follow federal guidelines, making sure every student has them, progress monitoring every 9 weeks, which takes 20-30 minutes to do some progress monitoring using iReady data or IXL data, depending on what grade level, just making sure the students are progressing with that English language learner. There's a lot of federal guidelines tied to it, which is why they require the person to be licensed. So the main discussion today is we've got maybe a staff member interested to get licensed. It's going to take about 15 credit hours of college, and they're just not interested in paying for that themselves. I don't know that we're going to get somebody in because there's no money tied to it. You're not getting a degree. You're not getting a master's degree, which would bump you in a scale.
These wouldn't qualify for master's classes or.
Not even if they're a language teacher. changing?
Don't think so. I think they're completely out of that category. I could be wrong, but I think they're completely out of that category. So we have some Title II funding that can be used for professional development. My thought is I could offer to reimburse tuition expenses. We could tie some compact language to it, like you have to serve as the ELL for a minimum of 5 years. If you don't, you have to pay that money back. Just kind of wanted thoughts on it.
Mhm.
Obviously, it would come for approval if we went to hire somebody as the ELL TOR, and I would put what we're offering them in that. But
The state says we have to have one.
we have to
What
have
if we
one
had
license.
no English learning students? Would we still have to have one?
Yes,
Any idea how other schools are filling this position?
getting someone to. Other schools are doing some tuition reimbursement. They are getting some, trying to find, incentivizing with stipends or.
I think Princeton has some teacher, that's all she does.
Yeah,
I know
and some
South-
schools have
Southbridge
larger
does.
populations, right?
Yeah.
15
Yeah, I
credit
can see
hours is a
Southbridge
lot.
as well.
Gosh, I just don't like the idea of tuition reimbursement. I think that's a slippery slope, and where do you draw the line on it? What's the Teachers Association position on that?
It's a brand new thing, so it's not the first I've heard about it, so haven't even had a chance to think about that, Vince, so.
So if we don't have any applicants that want to take this over, what is,
Who does?
what,
Those
Yeah.
are options.
We're doing the work. We're out of compliance because we don't have a licensed individual.
okay,
And so far they've just sort of sent nastygrams, but the way that the language is they can pull our federal funding, which is all title money, if we don't comply.
Do they have suggestions how you should get someone, do they?
Yeah, incentivize,
Instead of us.
pay for their tuition.
Like you're talking
Yeah.
about, yeah.
Yeah,
I like the idea of incentivizing it in some other way other than paying tuition.
like what?
Like paying a stipend to them, they can use it for whatever they
I would
want.
be fine with
Just
that.
not tie it
I
to
don't
the-
like it being tied to
I
tuition though.
can get that.
But then
But-
what if we do that and then they don't pay it back and they don't actually do
We've,
it?
we've done that many times before.
It'd be tied
People
to
get
this
certifications, they
specific
use that to move
degree or
on.
this specific license, that we say, you get this stipend for every 3 hours, you get $25, or, whatever the total is, but you get this, and then 3 more hours, you get $25. But if you quit 2 years down the line, you have to pay that all back. I mean, is that something that,
I don't think you can do that with. I don't know. I mean,
with the stipend, you might not be able to-
maybe not.
The stipend's on the ECA schedule anyway, which we just approved for 2 years, so it's kind of locked down at this point, right?
There's a $750 stipend that the person will get as soon as we hire them as the LTOR.
That's like they're paid for doing the job.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. We're just not getting anybody to bite to go take the classes because
I wouldn't want to either.
Right.
And
What
so
would
that's,
happen
they
if the
should make
next
it
time we
easier,
hired
like
an English
online
teacher, we
or-
said, okay, this is included in that.
they may not take the offer.
That's true.
The thing I also agree can get slippery slope with tuition. And I think the only thing that I like is we do some sort of like agreement that you have to stay the ELTOR.
Can you truly even lock them into that though?
Can.
Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, how many times have we seen it happen that we send folks to get certifications and then they just move on? We've never done that with
And then come
anything
back
else.
and,
But we never put anything.
But we've
in
never
that
paid
says-
for them.
Yeah, we have. The Project
Yeah.
Lead the Way classes we pay for.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
It's
we
similar.
could talk about similar, like we pay for Project Lead the Way. We have some people we pay for Wilson's, literacy. I mean, we do pay for some certifications. It just,
Well,
this
that's-
one happens to be college classes
Yeah.
to be certified.
Yeah,
So,
that's a big difference, it seems like.
How
Yeah,
many
but are these-
classes does this consist of? Is it like 5 classes?
15
Like
credit
five,
hours,
yeah.
so 5,
Or 5
Yeah.
classes?
Yeah, we're talking about $4,500
And
ish.
these are different classes than what they would take to get their undergraduate degree. They're classes specifically for this position.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
in that regard, it's almost like a certification.
it's called like
Are
a
they-
certification or a micro credential,
Okay,
because it's not a degree, but it's,
right. But they couldn't use those courses even towards a core degree?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe as electives. I mean,
Yeah,
like if you were going for a master's degree
And then
and
they
you could
still
maybe
have
use
that
those as electives.
certification.
I know that you can get it when you go, like when you're going through education originally, you can get it as an endorsement. You can take the extra classes and get your ELL endorsement, which is what this person would have when they were done with it. We're just trying to rack our brains on how to get compliant.
It is a lot for someone to put out, knowing they're only gonna get $750 for it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
American College for Education is online. It's one of the most inexpensive, cost effective, and we have a relationship with them that students can get a little bit of a discount if they are employed here. And I think Mrs. McMahon looked it up, and I believe she said it was about $4,500 to do the 15 credit hours.
So take them, what's a little over 6 years, so they're right around 6 years to make that back.
Yeah.
That's not that much different than getting your master's degree, and that's about the same rate of return.
Yeah, but no one wants to do it.
I don't know that makes it any different in my mind.
But it's required.
Yeah, but,
They take
yeah,
our
I mean,
federal funds and we are in trouble.
You get
Oh,
your master's
we might be
degree
better
right
off.
on the scale.
The biggest deal about it, if you get that, that makes you more employable someplace else, because.
Which is why I like the compact for sure. Like, I don't want them to just get it and run.
Right, agree. Like we've had with the project lead the way over and over again.
And I mean, Lindsay's dad uses something like that. It's a pretty industry standard thing. You know, Fred pays for you to go to Ivy Tech, but 7 years, Lindsay?
I don't think he's held anybody to
Hey, he's not held anybody to that. I mean, that's what we always tell the kids, if you want to work for Fred, he'll pay for it, but you're gonna work for 7 years, you're gonna pay him back. So, because that's pretty much industry standard. So your dad's too nice is what you're saying?
Never, yeah. You
I've seen
should,
that firsthand.
yeah, you should,
I mean, Zach Scheller stayed, I guess, hopefully more than Zach will stay for you.
yes.
yeah, we've had the same policies when we did our PE certification, so it's,
Is there a way to, and I know it's probably just semantics, but can you just say that if someone serves in this position for 5 years, then they get a $4,500 stipend at the end of it? Or, I mean, that goes back to the ECA schedule, probably,
Right.
which has to be
We'd have to
bargained,
be
doesn't it?
That's supplemental pay. I mean, you could put it in as supplemental.
I would be
which
much
wouldn't
more
have to be
comfortable
bargained.
doing it
Can you
on the
just call
back
it-
end like that and not having it be tuition reimbursement.
Yeah.
If you
Could
do
they
a
get so
sign-on
much every
bonus
year? Like,
and
I
do
feel
it
like that's
ahead
Yeah.
of time, but they have to
wait
pay it back?
to get it.
Is that the same
Yeah.
thing, just getting it first, like, you're gonna
You
get
put
this
up
sign-on?
$4,500 first to get it.
did you hear Amy? Could that be something we do annually? So that
Yeah,
they're
I was
not,
just- so that
they're-
they're not.
they're
I
not
don't
out.
like it being
$4,500.
tuition reimbursement.
What
Right.
if once they finish the licensure, they're eligible for whatever the ACE costs, whatever we go find that class, if it's
Bonus.
4,500, they're eligible for a $4,500 stipend once your licensure is complete
And you're gonna lock them in for some
and lock
years.
them in for,
If that's something that
For
they
the
would
rest of their life.
you guys
entertain,
would be,
I'm,
yeah. I hadn't even tried to.
We gotta, I
it
mean,
was
there's,
just conversation.
I, once
was like,
again,
I
I'll
don't know
look what
to do.
other corporations do and
Yeah.
we'll see. And once again, what an industry standard is where we'll go. I mean, no one needs to reinvent the wheel in education is the rule of thumb.
To what extent are new grads already having this? I mean, is this something that you've got someone coming in?
We haven't yet.
it doesn't sound very lucrative.
Josh, there are hardly any kids graduating from USI, UV, IU in general with education. So then to add a specialized certification, Yeah, it's fair pickings, slim pickings out there. If you've been a principal who's went to the job fairs, you're like, where's everybody at?
Mhm.
And you just have to have one at any level in the corporation, or it has to be high
It's a,
school?
no, one district.
But somebody in elementary school even gonna be able to do that job?
Yeah.
No matter what age the kids
Yeah.
are?
And actually, elementary is probably a little more reason because they understand literacy a little better. But
Does
yes,
it have to be an educator? Could it be administrative level? Does it have to be?
anyone could get the license.
That's what, yeah.
So
it
we
could
can
be
tie
either-
this to a superintendent
For
contract.
$750.
No applicant.
I think I got some good feedback and maybe some places to start, and we'll chat a little more with Teachers Association too, and hopefully we'll find somebody.
Federal fund, what's Title Lane? It's 6 figures,
Yeah,
One is seven.
we gotta get compliant.
losing $3,000 or $4,000 is not worth losing 175 to
Yeah.
400,000.
Yeah.
So,
I reached out to every school corporation this last year and asked if I could talk to their ELL teacher of record to see if I could just contract them. Because we don't have any, like, we have very little. I'm like, can I just pay you a contract fee? And
Yeah.
no one was interested. So, I mean, I've tried other things too, but
Is that worth a shot trying again?
I could try again.
Maybe there's more
I
of
can
them out
call
there that-
around and see if we could contract it.
Right, for 3 students or whatever.
I just reached out to a friend that runs one of these programs in Indianapolis, who's a North Posey grad, just to gain feedback, and their statement to me just now is the need in general around the state is crazy.
You put a requirement in and now.
I thought,
It's an
maybe
unfunded
they want to come
requirement.
back to North Posey but
It's a way of getting new grads to include this in their, I don't know. I think if I was a,
But they're not incentivizing that.
yeah, I think if I was a college dean, I would be trying to get kids, say, take this here, it's gonna make you more employable, it's gonna, you
It's
know.
gonna give you $750.
But in your
10
undergrad,
credits.
Lindsay's right, in your undergrad, it should count as electives inside of your education major. So she got a point, she's not wrong when she's saying that, that's extremely valid. So,
Okay, well, we'll move on. We have a
Yeah.
walk-on item, tonight, the, Kish, how, I'm not gonna say it right. We said it, Kesh, I told you how to
Yeah,
say
I
it
know,
earlier,
that's
and
what's
that's my
funny.
tongue is tied. Kesh Glass, to replace,
Kosh, isn't it?
is it, what is it?
That's what we pronounce it in Du Bois County, it's Kosh,
Kosh?
Gosh.
Kosh.
Well, see, I had it wrong to
K-E,
start with,
right?
K-E,
Yeah. that's
Yeah.
cost. Okay.
KUSC.
K-E-U-S-C-H.
I would probably be cash to the old Dutchman around here.
Well, we have a proposal to replace an exterior door.
From that company.
For $19,100.
Is that, to me, that just sounds like it's an awful lot of money. I mean, how much, was that in line with what the doors were in North Elementary, or I don't know, I mean, I don't have any idea.
It's the entire door, because it's a
Yeah.
1959 door, so it's the frame and all of it, and includes the security glass. So yes, it is in line with what we did at North Elementary.
And this one here is beyond fixable.
Yeah, Danny has fixed all he
When,
can fix.
when will we put new doors into that school? Is that on our
It-
horizon
yes.
someplace?
Yes, we will need to be looking at that soon.
All right, I'm gonna look for a motion,
I'll make a motion.
Okay. and
Replace the
then
door.
a second.
I'll second.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of the motion to replace the door with the Kish glass proposal?
Kosh.
Kosh
Cash, however, whatever it is.
At least that's
glass,
what,
we're gonna get a.
you lived in
email
Holland,
on
that's
how
what
to
you
pronounce
called the
it.
Ireland boys that had that name, so.
Somebody please tell us how to pronounce it.
Yes, So all those in favor of the motion to approve, say aye. Aye.
I
All those opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0.
just couldn't qualify in any grant or anything.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Safety.
Would be safety.
It would be, but we didn't write
We
it for
are.
that.
Yeah. And we already got our max.
Yeah.
So,
You ready? Under
Yep.
personnel, I presented to the board for consideration a request to add $1,000 stipend for 23-24 school year to the deputy treasurer position due to the extra workload that has been assigned to this position, both cafeteria and textbook accounts, and being reassigned to the central office. As we looked at that, we weren't really comfortable with a yearly raise to that. We want to see where things kind of pan out in the given year. I think some of those responsibilities either subside or can be moved to other people. But I do feel that it's important that we recognize the extra work that has been put upon that person for this year.
all right, looking for a motion to approve the $1,000 stipend.
I'll make a motion to approve the $1,000 stipend.
In a second,
I'll second it.
have a motion by Mrs. Bowers, seconded by Mr. Colley. Any other discussion on the item?
That was transferred to State Board of Accounts, said they had to cover that, is that
From
right?
from the schools
And
to central
who
office.
had done that before?
That was in the high school treasurer.
No, it was Carolyn Price did it at the high school. Kim Losmer was doing it. I mean, it was
Right.
4 different people and now it's on one. Actually 5, because a lot of the cafeteria that Stacy did has been moved over to.
Right.
So it's been consolidated into one spot, okay.
So are there any adjustments that need to be made to those other positions? Or is that something we're gonna revisit in a year and see if it's?
Again, that might be something that you look at. I do think, obviously I can speak for one of the secretaries. She's still pretty busy as far as that goes, but at the same time, yeah, we can certainly look at it.
Her thought process when we met with the building secretaries at the beginning of the year was, let's give it a year.
That makes sense.
See what
Let's
happens.
see, and because they may come in this next legislative session and change it again. We don't.
And really, that's the reason we wanted to go with the stipend instead of something permanent.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the stipend motion, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0.
And next up, we just have for your consideration an tier 2 cell phone benefit ad for our transportation secretary. She is on answer cell, all hours of the day and night and weekends for sub bus drivers, ECA drivers. And it's something that I actually didn't realize that we didn't have on the position. And so it's something I'd like to get corrected.
Looking for a motion to approve the added stipend for the transportation secretary.
I'll make a motion to add the stipend to the transportation secretary position.
And a second,
I'll second it.
motion by Mrs. Wills, seconded by Mr. Colley. Any other discussion?
The transportation secretary does the substitute bus drivers and ECA.
She handles all of the ECA trips.
Like if Wayland needs trip buses, he calls her and then she,
Yeah, she pulls everything out of our EventLink. Thank you, the word I was looking for. She takes all the schedules, all the sports schedules. Before each sport, each coach fills out kind of an info sheet for her. We're gonna take mini buses, or we need a big bus, or we need 3 buses, or what they need for their sport.
a lot of times the coaches choose their drivers, so at least I was told I did when I coached there.
We haven't done that much here since I've been here. We've had a hard time getting enough drivers for all ECAs. So we do give our full-time drivers first dibs.
Yeah.
On that, to work extra if they want.
That's an altogether different
But
topic.
it's hard enough to find, like,
But she schedules
But
all
she
those, and she
schedules all of
schedules
it.
field trips.
yep.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion to add the stipend, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Under,
Professional leave, yep.
under professional leave, I presented the following professional leave request. Brad Wallace going to the Golden Shovel Competition in Indianapolis. That will be through the Educational Fund. Melissa Marinholtz for the AEAI Annual Conference in Mooresville, Indiana. That will be out of the Educational Fund as well. And then Aaron Kester for the IASP Fall Principals Conference in Indianapolis, and that will be out of Title II funds.
Looking for a motion to approve professional leave request.
I'll make a motion to approve professional leave request.
In a second.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Oakley, seconded by Mrs. Bowers. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. Good news.
Did that get sent
Yeah.
out?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was on the end of the board pack.
I saw that.
Yeah. I will add to that our tennis
Yes,
team winning sectionals for the first time in 13
Yeah.
years. That was pretty cool.
Is that 13 years? We tried to figure it out. We thought it was like, I know the Davenport boy played when
That
they
was
won it
13
last
years ago.
time. We just figured that out.
Yeah.
We thought it was gonna be 11 or 12. But
Mhm.
I'm sure they've done it enough that,
Yeah, I think that's what Mr. Barrett put on there.
I'm sure he knows exactly what it was. But,
And Alicia confirmed it was when Griffin was a freshman.
okay.
also had great homecoming events last Friday night.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes.
those on
Great.
Yeah, the food edition was very nice. I
Yeah,
like
it
that.
was well received.
Mhm.
Except if you worked, the food was all gone. That was
You
my
should.
only complaint.
concession stand.
I wanted the chicken and dumplings.
There's enough students around there, they could have done a Grubhub or whatever, and, you know,
And
Well,
brought,
the
brought it for you.
Oreo, the pudding one did, but
Yeah.
the dumpling one didn't. Without the dumplings, I couldn't have the sweet.
Uh-huh. You should have sent one my kids to go get for you.
so any other
Pudding.
items for the good of the cause?
I know we've had a lot go on in the last month, so I'm sure this is just something that got forgotten, but can we revisit the classroom furniture stuff next month?
It was on, we were waiting on Megan to have a chance to go through it
Okay.
and say that she's good. We actually heard from her today. So it's on the
Good enough.
docket to ask for, to move that forward next month.
All right, then I'll look for a motion to adjourn
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
in the second. I think Amy was in there first. So, motion by Mr. Colley, second by Mrs. Will, we are adjourned.
Sorry, you gotta go back to work.
Uh,
You gotta roll with work.